Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second episode of Sensational Sides. And today we're going to be looking at another vegetable side and it's green bean related. Now I know you've all made, or most of you, green bean casseroles, and that's typically something that's used during holiday meals. I love green bean casserole. But I sometimes find that if I'm having a heavy meal with a turkey and dressing and gravy and potato and squash and cranberry sauce and all of the things that go along with something like Thanksgiving, that having a green bean casserole, which is rich and hearty, is almost just too much of a good thing. Now, I love green bean casserole at other times, but I like green beans, and my husband likes green beans, so I was looking for an alternative to the green bean casserole. And I found a recipe called Christmas green beans. And they're very simply made. They don't take much time. They take as long as you want them to take, I guess, and mine will probably take a little longer because my husband likes green beans killed. I guess you could almost say like Southern style green beans, where I like them anyway, but I prefer them like fresher than that. But anyway, we're going to be making Christmas green beans. It only has about 3 or 4 ingredients, and I think you'll find them very tasty. This is Saturday when I'm making this video, and I'm going to be serving them tonight with some grilled chicken and grilled potatoes because it's still grilling weather here. And so I'm going to bring you down to the counter and we'll show you how to make Christmas green beans. Be right back. Okay, here are the ingredients you need. Very simple. We're going to need butter, a little bit of minced garlic, some pecans, some honey, some diced pimentos, and some frozen green beans which have been thawed. Okay? Now you can certainly use fresh green beans, but if you can't find fresh green beans, the frozen ones will work just fine. And we're going to start by adding 3 tablespoons of butter to my fry pan. And I'm just going to break it up a little bit here. And I think I got 4. Oh well. I'll take this piece out. I must have been overzealous with my butter. Although, what could a little extra butter do? Alright, and let me get these out of the way so you can see the pan. And to that, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of the minced garlic. And 1 tablespoon of honey. And I'm going to give that tablespoon just a quick spray so the honey will come out easier. And I got to use 2 hands to do this, so I'll set this down. Okay. going to set that over there for just a minute while I get the nuts. And to that, I'm going to add one-third of a cup of pecans, and chopped pecans. And that's what I have in this bag, is chopped pecans. And what we're going to do is just cook these for about 2 minutes. And what we're actually doing, if you think of it, is caramelizing these pecans. And while those are cooking, I'm going to get a little dish to put them in when they're done. And it will take a couple of minutes to get these really nice and caramelized. You need to keep moving them around so that the butter or the pecans don't burn. And I'm turning my heat down to about 4. Smells good. What's everybody have traditionally for, oh, let's say Thanksgiving, because I always have a turkey. And because I'm from New England, we always served our turkeys with squash, butternut squash, and what we call turnip in New England, but it's actually rutabaga, along with mashed potato, gravy, and dressing. We don't call it dressing, we call it stuffing. And sometimes we stuff the turkey and sometimes we don't. Historically, we do. Now, of course, that's just my area that had it. Now, we have a lot of ethnic groups in New England who enjoy other Thanksgiving traditions. I know my Italian friends have several courses. They'll have a pasta course, and then they'll have a turkey course or a ham or something like that. So this year the Thanksgiving celebrations will probably be somewhat muted, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun with whomever we can get together with. And the toasting of these just will bring out the nice caramelized flavor. Let's just give it another probably 30 seconds. And meanwhile, I think I will get the top of my green beans open here. And you want, as I said, you want to defrost those. Otherwise, you're going to add a lot of water to your dish. Now, having said that, I may indeed add some water because I'm going to make these green beans cook longer than the recipe says. And so I may need some hot water or a little bit of water so that they don't burn. Okay, I'm thinking that those look pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is just remove these. And I want to get as many of them out as I can. And add the green beans. And I'm just going to turn them around a bit first and get as much of that coating off the bottom onto the beans as I can. That's nice butter and honey. Now this is actually quite a healthy side dish. Not that a lot of the other foods we eat on Thanksgiving are, but this one is. And it says to cover this, and I forgot to get my cover out, so excuse my noise when you hear it, getting it out. Of course, the cover for this pan is at the back of my cover rack. There we go. And the recipe says to let it cook for 6 to 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. So we will stir this up. Cover it up and let it do its thing, and I will be back when we're ready to go on to the next and actually last step. So hang in there, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, these are just about done enough for us. And you can see they are done more than a lot of people would like them. And you can tell because that bright green color is gone. But that's okay. That's the way we like them, so that's the way we'll cook them. I'm going to start by adding some salt. And a pepper. It just says salt and pepper to taste. And we like pepper. Those a little shush. And now we're going to add in these pecans, which are now one big clump. So they'll have to break up again in there because they're candied. But they'll melt down. And I don't want to throw them on the stove. And the last ingredients in the recipe is a quarter cup of pimentos. And pimentos, of course, are nothing more than chopped up roasted red peppers. But it does give it that Are you ready? Christmas color. It's red and green. Now we know why it's called Christmas green beans. And these are certainly something that you could make in advance and heat up that day. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, which is not part of the recipe, but butter never hurts. So I'm going to put just a little bit more butter and melt it down in these green beans. Butter makes it better. My healthy meter is going down. There you go. Clean fork. Well, it's time for a taste test. I'll get you back up. Excuse me. There we are. And let's give these a taste test. Some green beans, some of the pecans and the pimentos. Very, very nice. It's nice because they're tasty. That pecans have given them a nice little crunch. See if I can just get you a little closer. It gives it a nice little crunch. The pimentos don't have a lot of flavor, and they're just plain delicious. So Christmas green beans, red and green. A healthy, tasty, sensational side to have with your holiday meals. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, oh, I'm zoomed in. That's a horrible thing to have happen to you. I'll zoom me out. There we go. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed this video, get yourself some green beans and a few little extra ingredients and make some Christmas green beans. I know you'll enjoy them. Now, I cooked mine for approximately 20 minutes. And the recipe says 6 to 10. So depending on how you like your frozen green beans or fresh green beans, will just depend on how long you cook them. And I did add probably about a third of a cup to a half a cup of water to let them steam, and then took the cover off so the water would evaporate. So anyway, they are delicious, and we will enjoy them tonight with our chicken and potatoes. And I wish I could show you my table over there. I got a box in the mail yesterday, and it had 2 tiny little pumpkins, oh, like this. But there'd be pie pumpkins, and I'll cook them up and make something out of those. And 4 or 5 squashes, a butternut squash, 4 or 5 acorn squash, a spaghetti squash. All of these came from my son and daughter-in-law's garden in Ohio. So we'll be eating some squash. I gotta find a recipe. I've done 2 squash recipes actually. So I'll be having some nice squash dinners here pretty soon. So until Tuesday, I think we're going to make some Christmas cards. We haven't made any Christmas cards yet this year. And it's a good time to get them started. I don't send out as many as I used to, but I still like to send out a few. So I'll see you Tuesday. And until then, everybody stay safe, play by the rules, keep your distance, wear your mask, and everybody play nice now. Love you. Bye.